All right, so we're gonna score and slip the top and the bottom together. Before we do this, we're gonna make sure that the ends line up. And I've decided to do this, the vase shape versus the hourglass. We're also gonna make sure that our seams are blended really well on the insides and that our shapes are right where we want them to be. So if it has any kind of unevenness, like on the rim, especially on the two rims that we're putting together, you want to make sure they're level, because if they're uneven and they're not level, when you put them together, the whole piece will be crooked. So we have to make sure that we have nice even shapes. Now we have two borders here, and I had you do that purposely so that when we put the vase together, you don't get rid of all of your texture. So the first thing I'm gonna do is score both. I'm gonna score this one really well, and then I'm gonna score this one really well. Okay, and then I'm gonna put some slip around the rim. I'm not gonna rub it on, I kind of blot it on so that I don't end up getting rid of my score marks. And then I simply just line it up where I want it to be. So another thing to take in consideration is where's your seam on your top and bottom, and where do you want them to be when you put them together, like if they're both on the same side or you want to stagger them a little. It's up to you. And then we're going to gently kind of blend these together. Now if it's hard to blend because your shapes are getting drier, you can use the back of the hook tool and blend gently over that seam. On the inside, we're going to start putting a coil once I get this all blended around the outside. But you have to take your time and go all the way around and get this outside blended. And you want to push the clay up and down, whatever works better, whichever side's blending more efficiently, the top or the bottom. There we go, almost there. And once you're done blending up and down, then you're gonna go back and smooth it horizontally. So I'm trying to keep my blending to stay within the borders that I made. There we go, this is the last piece to blend. You see I use a little bit of my excess clay to help fill in spots. And then I'm just gonna go around and softly blend over that border. You don't want to over blend and push it in, but you definitely want to go over and get rid of that seam. Hide your building marks. Remember, we need to be magicians and hide our techniques. Shouldn't show everything that you're making and how you put them together. There we go. That's looking good. Okay, and then you just want to play with the shape again, make sure it looks right. If it's kind of sticking, going in a little bit too far, you can push it out with your tool. Okay, so this one went in a little, I'm going to push it out a little bit. All right, till I feel like I have a good connection. Next thing you want to do is blend the inside. Now this is tricky to blend the inside, but you definitely need to do this, and you're going to use your big knife tool, and all you're going to do is go along the inside and score the edges. So if I do it this way, so you can see it, and go over that seam the best that you can to seal your project together. way around. Always support the opposite side of the wall that you're blending. So with my hand on the outside where the seam is, and I'm blending the inside. All right. So also what you can use is a brush, big long brush. I have a few of those. And dunk it in some water, a long brush, and smooth the inside where that seam is too. So you can kind of blend it and smooth it as you work. So again, supporting the outside with your other hand, and then spin and blend. Don't push it too hard so you don't create a bulge in the wall or push the seam out that we just smoothed. All right, so once you get that blended, then you're gonna stand your vase upright, and there you go, you have a vase. You could also put a little clay here. If you feel like you can't get rid of this seam 100%, you can add a little clay and then blend it over. All right, but it's gonna have a little bit of a bumpy feel until we really smooth it out. You can use a brush, but you don't wanna get rid of all your texture either, okay? You just wanna smooth where the seam is. And that's why we gave ourselves that border. Okay, so the next step would be to add the bottom circle, and you're gonna score and slip that on as well. And then there you have your vase. When I get back, we're going to make a fancier rim on the top and maybe a couple of handles on the seam here. Some nice little handles.